Imagine a package of rom-com anime with crazily good animation. Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. The anime revolves around a half-Russian girl and a listless bloke. Alisa Mikhailovna. Kuze, a girl born to a Russian father, is an honor student who excels at everything. Practically everything. She is the student council treasurer, and being a perfectionist, she prefers to keep her distance from normies, except for one, Masachika Kuze. She gets along with Masachika to the degree that she compliments him in the Russian language, believing that he won't understand anything, and she would also be safe from vicarious embarrassment. However, Masachika has a solid grasp of Russian and can understand spoken language, though he keeps it a secret from her. When Masachika brags about packing a special Tsukuyomi card in his game, she makes some remarks expressing her jealousy. Later during the lunch break, Yuki Suo, the student council public relations consultant, joins the same table to have lunch with Masachika. She reveals being his childhood friend and discloses that the listless Masachika used to be the student council vice president when they were in middle school. The next day, Masachika arrives early at the school and promptly finishes his school duties. Sometime later, Alisa arrives with dirty over-the-knee socks, something that isn't usual, at least not for a perfect student like her. She remarks that her clothes got dirty because a truck splashed and dashed her on her way to school and teases him to help her with getting them on. Masachika gets serious when she calls him a coward. While attempting to help her wear the socks, he accidentally touches her thighs and gets kicked in the face. Later, they make up after addressing a few misunderstandings. Masachika helps Alisa and Yuki with student council work and also gets to meet the student council president, Tuya Kanzaki. The student council president offers Alisa, Yuki, and especially Masachika to hang out with him. Inspired by Masachika's work ethic, the student council president invites him to join the student council, but he declines, saying that he is tired of doing that work in middle school. After dropping off Alisa, Masachika also returns home and finds Yuki reading a manga on the couch. It is revealed that Yuki is Masachika's younger sister with a different family name, and they have a healthy familial bond. The next day, the siblings go shopping and spot Alisa eavesdropping. They pretend that they didn't spot her and act naturally, casually inviting her to hang out with them. They take her to a food court called Hell's Cauldron that serves spicy ramen. Alisa struggles with eating the extra spicy ramen, and despite Masachika's warning, she adds an extremely spicy sauce to make matters worse for her. Later, when Yuki leaves, Masachika asks Alisa whether becoming the student council president is something of paramount value to her, to which she responds very earnestly, remarking that she must be the student council president. After this, Masachika helps Alisa with shopping. Masachika floods her with compliments whenever she wears something different, which makes her blush. Alisa returns home after hanging out with Masachika and Yuki. Despite having a good time, she is upset because she saw Yuki and Masachika leave together. Alisa's older sister, Maria Mikhailovna Kuze, asks Alisa what she thinks about Masachika. Alisa replies that Masachika is her friend, which Maria finds absurd as Alisa has hated people who lays off since she was a kid. Alisa recalls her past, how she was a hard-working kid, but people around her limited her productivity and she became a lone wolf. When she enrolled in Seirei Private Academy, her first impression of Masachika was very much expected. She thought he was just another lazy kid. During that time, a school festival was approaching, and Alisa was busy managing several tasks. While this all was going flawlessly, she still felt that hollowness. Then came Masachika and told her that working alone won't help, as the things she engages in mostly need to be done with the help of more people. During the school festival, Alisa had a change of heart. She realized that she was wrong, and from that day onwards, she had always wished for a life where her efforts wouldn't be ignored in favor of her birth. This sums up Alisa's experience with meeting Masachika for the first time. Masachika later helps the student council president and gets to meet Maria, Alisa's older sister. The student council president again invites Masachika to become an esteemed member. However, but this time he tells the president that he needs some time to think over it. Masachika learns that Alisa is off mediating a dispute between the baseball team and the soccer team. Both clubs are fighting over a practice field. Alisa gives it her all to settle the matter, but when it worsens, Masachika steps in. He introduces himself as the Student Council General Affairs and quickly gets rid of the unnecessary conflict. The president shows his gratitude to Masachika for helping the student council and properly welcomes him into the council. While leaving for home, Masachika asks Elisa if she truly wants to become the student council president. She replies that she would do anything, even if it means standing against Masachika himself. Stunned by her dedication, Masachika decides to help her become the student council president for the next year. Elisa slaps Masachika for thinking about another girl despite being with her. Later, he escorts her home. On his way home, Masachika recalls hearing Elisa confessing her love for him in the Russian language, though he isn't happy because he, who dropped his family name, can't protect her. Masachika returns home and walks in on Yuki changing. Since Yuki is a playful character, she teases him for being a pervert and then admits that she intentionally got into the bath when she heard his footsteps to make up for earlier. Yuki mentions that she was dumbfounded when the news of him joining the student council rolled in. He explains that he joined the student council to make Elisa the student council president. Instead of feeling discouraged, she tells her brother that she would be glad to shape this contest into a sibling rivalry. Elisa is a little anxious after what happened the previous night. She tries to convince herself that Masachika would turn up to school with his gloomy, half-sleepy look. Much to her astonishment, the gloomy guy arrives and appears to be extra refreshing. During the PE class, Masachika gets knocked out due to an accidental basketball hit. After the class, Elisa checks on him. Masachika notices Elisa's curves and realizes she is extremely attractive. To make off impure thoughts, he dips his head into a water sink to cool his head. But Maria happens to be around, and since the erotic thoughts are already in his head, he starts to check out her too. Masachika tells Elisa that he didn't have breakfast this morning, and he wasn't able to sleep. Masachika and Elisa meet Shisaki Sarashina, the vice president of the student council and Tuya's girlfriend. She is portrayed as a girl who loves kendo and is feared by most men. Later, the student council prepares to conduct a meeting. During the meeting, it was decided that Elisa and Yuki would be tasked with discussing the upcoming exhibit of the art club. While walking toward the art club, they decide to first address their matters in a nearby classroom. Elisa informs Yuki that she will be running for the student council president and Masachika is going to be her partner in her campaign. Yuki admits to being a little upset that Masachika chose Elisa over her. Despite that, Yuki admits loving him more than she loves her parents. She presses Elisa to get her to confess her feelings. Elisa, who is conflicted about her feelings, remarks that she isn't sure about her feelings, but then says that Masachika only belongs to her. While the girls are busy handling the art club management, Masachika and the rest of the members are occupied with paperwork. Maria prepares tea and jam for everyone. And later, the student council president candidates also join the little tea party. Masachika takes Elisa to the cafe once the meeting session has ended. At the cafe, they discuss how they have zero chance of winning against Yuki. He explains that Yuki has always emerged as the victor due to her extensive experience and knowledge. The only way to win against Yuki is by using a simple yet effective strategy. Elisa needs a backstory to rally support. The current president also exploited the same energy and got to where he is today. Masachika fears that if Taniyama Sayaka became Yuki's representative, things wouldn't be the same. The next day, a new member joins the student council as the general affairs officer. She introduces herself as Ayano Kimishima from Class 1C. Ayano Kimishima is a follower of Yuki and serves the Suo family, especially Yuki's grandfather, who apparently has abandoned Masachika. She asks Masachika why is he going against Yuki. Is it because he resents her? Masachika tells her that he doesn't harbors any hatred for Yuki and is helping Elisa because he promised to help her. Moreover, he tells her that Yuki is the most important person to him. After this, Ayano tells Yuki that her older brother has declared that he will continue to support Alicia. She also adds that Masachika stated he adores his younger sister and deems her the most important person in his life, which makes Yuki very happy. Yuki is excited, thinking she will be taking on the prodigy of the Suo family, her older brother. After this, the student council holds a welcome party for the new members, Masachika and Ayano. The girls are playing cards except for Shisaki, who is spectating with Tuya and Masachika. Maria and Masachika head out to grab drinks for the group. Maria expresses how glad she is that Masachika is there for Elisa. Masachika replies that his listless personality is just a way to hide what he originally is capable of. Sayaka, of the Public Morals Committee, another presidential candidate, accuses Elisa of pulling some shady crap to steal Masachika from Yuki. Masachika steps in to defend Elisa, he tells Sayaka that he chose to represent Alisa on his own. Sayaka remarks that Masachika isn't suited to be involved in student council, and she is going to prove it through a student congress. The topic for the motion is introducing teacher screenings for student council entry. Masachika and Alisa believe that if they triumph against Sayaka, their candidacy gains legitimacy. Masachika believes that Sayaka hates him because in middle school she lost her position due to his and Yuki's impeccable partnership. Sayaka's partner in the Congress is Nonoa Miyamai, a popular girl with connections that can fetch out any information. The proposer of the motion, Sayaka claims that teacher screening should be a thing, as they can select appropriate students for the position. In response, Alisa remarks that teacher screening would give teachers manipulative power, suggesting that it shouldn't be a thing. Alisa is initially praised for her logical counter, but soon everyone starts calling her a foreigner and overwhelms her with offensive remarks. Alisa isn't able to contain the situation and begins to drown in her own sweat. Masachika wastes no time and takes over the mic. He points out that the current student council president would never have become the president if teachers were to screen the student council activities. Sayaka accepts her defeat and leaves crying. Perplexed, Alisa goes after her, where she learns that Sayaka has given up on her goal because in middle school her competitors were the perfect duo, Masachika and Yuki. Alisa responds that she doesn't know why she was chosen by Masachika, but hopes to be worthy of the position. Meanwhile, Yuki is disappointed that her brother didn't end this motion, even though he could have finished her off in minutes. Later, Masachika admits that he has partied up with Alisa because he genuinely wants to spend time with her. Yuki's grandfather instructs her to not lose against Yuki, the boy who had the brains for it, but ran away from responsibility. Alisa is praised by the boys from her class for putting up a great performance. When they ridicule Sayaka for running away, she becomes bothered. In the club room, she tells Masachika that she wants to help Sayaka. Masachika responds to her positively remarking that he would do whatever she tells him to. As they are being lovebirds, another couple, Tuya and Chisaki, are eavesdropping on them, though Masachika spots them. Masachika tells Nonoa that his partner wishes to put a stop to all the disrespectful crap that is thrown at Sayaka. He says that he knows Nonoa used her friends to whisper against Alisa during the student congress. Nonoa decides to help spread plausible rumors to explain why Sayaka ran away that day. Yuki and Ayano expose themselves after Nonoa leaves. They admit eavesdropping because it was something interesting. Meanwhile, Nonoa follows the plan and tells her friends that Sayaka ran away from the student congress because she was mad at her. Masachika and Alisa study together after school, but soon Yuki, Ayano, and Maria join the study session. Maria finds a hypnotization book and insists that Masachika hypnotizes her. Masachika follows the instructions and successfully hypnotizes Maria. He also hypnotizes Alicia, and the hypnotized girls start acting crazy to the point where they even try to undress themselves. Chisaki arrives just in time and resets both sisters by knocking them out. Masachika is studying for the exams but isn't motivated to study. He receives a phone call from Alisa, who tells him that if he manages to hit his goal of getting into the top 30, she will do anything he asks for, and if he fails, he has to do one thing for her. Masachika mentions that he was born in April, and it was his birthday 3 months previously. Alisa is disappointed that he didn't inform her. 5 days later, the exams are over, but Alisa still isn't over the subject of Masachika's birthday party. Masachika reveals that he hasn't celebrated his birthday since he was in elementary school. As Alisa seems upset by this, Masachika decides to throw his belated birthday party with just the two of them. During Masachika's birthday party, they discuss what happens during the closing ceremony. The candidates give speeches, and their partners explain the reason they are supporting the candidate. Once it is over, the audience's reaction decides the candidate. After feasting on top-quality beef, Alisa gifts him a mug as his birthday present. On the parents-teacher meeting day, everyone has their guardians meet the teacher. This includes Masachika too, who makes his other grandfather accompany him. Masachika has his grandfather meet Alisa and her mother. Soon, Masachika encounters his mother accompanied by Yuki, but the grandfather jumps in and eases the tension. Masachika wakes up after dredging up some bad memories. In his dream, he recalled not being able to impress his mother despite being good at everything. Before long, he realizes that his head is feeling heavy and he has caught a cold. Just in time, Alisa visits him in his apartment to nurse him and reveals Yuki has sent her. She prepares porridge for him, which he enjoys. Masachika rests for the evening and oversleeps. He wakes up to Alisa and Ayano fighting over who is going to nurse him. Somehow, Ayano convinces Alisa to leave. She then tends to him all alone. The next day, Masachika sleeps until noon, but feels much better than before. After breakfast, Ayano gives him some medicines. Feeling strange, he asks Ayano to bring him the packaging of the medicine to confirm if it causes drowsiness. He realizes that Yuki intentionally gave Alisa these medicines to keep him off school longer. Masachika rushes to Alisa and finds her in a turmoil state. She explains that Yuki pressured her to do a radio broadcast with her. During the broadcast, Yuki messed up with Alisa's head and completely threw her off track. Masachika reassures her that she will be fine. Yuki won't get the best out of them, not until he is there. Nonoa and Sayaka abruptly visit them and apologize for her rude behavior. Sayaka reveals that she is dropping out of the candidateship, but Masachika asks her to wait because he has devised a plan to win against Yuki. Masachika helps Alisa prepare for the speech for the closing ceremony. Yuki drops in for a quick hello, but learns that she has poked the bear, as Masachika clearly tells her that since she took a bite, she better sink those teeth in. Their heated argument comes to an end when the rest of the student council members arrive. Both parties flip a coin to decide who decides to go first or second, and the coin drops in Yuki's favor. She chooses to go first. In her speech, Yuki promises to fulfill the wishes of the students, whether they want to expand a festival or introduce something new to the existing festivals. Yuki simply nails her speech. To add more sprinkles of perfection to her speech, Ayano showers Yuki with praises. Masachika instructs Yuki to start her campaign by speaking in Russian. This would allow the audience to switch attention from Yuki to her. Alisa succeeds in changing the hottest topic to herself. She then continues her speech in Japanese and tells the students that she is going to make up for the experience with pure dedication and hard work. Masachika also doesn't overcomplicate things and says that the students should choose a candidate who has the most charisma and earnest nature. He takes out his trump card and unveils that Sayaka and Nonoa would become members of the student council during Alisa's reign. Yuki admits being defeated but promises to run for the position once again the next year. Masachika highlights not being able to secure a position in the top 30, but Alisa hasn't come up with something to demand as a forfeit. As they leave the school, Masachika musters up the courage and asks Alisa if she would spend the summer together and prepare for the impending election during that time. And there you have it, the recap of Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian anime. We intend to explain anime in detail through our uncomplicated and concise anime recap approach. We would love to receive a like, and a subscription from anime enthusiasts is even more appreciated, as it fuels us to keep producing quality content.